Phase two of negotiations are underway to end the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Yesterday, a board of peace official overseeing Gaza's post-war transition met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The talks are happening as the board pushes for Hamas to disarm in Gaza. The Board of Peace called the discussion with Netanyahu constructive and detailed, and now they're pushing Israel to stop strikes on the Gaza Strip during these talks. ABC News contributor and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, Mick Mulroy, is joining us once again. Hey there, Mick. Should we be encouraged by these developments? What are your thoughts?
Well, Stephanie, yes. I mean, it's better than not having these meetings and not trying to advance the 20-point peace plan. It's unclear whether this is actually going to advance because they seem to disagree on the sequencing when it comes to disarming and withdrawing. But it is, I think, a positive thing that the discussions are still underway and they're still trying to get through this to a point where they could have some form of peace in Gaza.
Absolutely. And since the October ceasefire, Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry claims more than 1,200 people have died in Israeli strikes. But there were no strikes yesterday. That seems like a good sign. What does that tell you?
Well, they certainly, I think, know, they being the IDF, that there is a push, again, underway by the U.S., starting from the top, President Trump, to really advance this. The question, of course, is going to be when things are happening. That's what I meant by sequencing. So if Hamas has agreed to fully disarm, is that agreement after the withdrawal of the IDF? And if the IDF has agreed to withdraw, is that after Hamas fully disarms? They both seem to be saying the opposite. And that's the concern, that this isn't going to happen because one is not going to move first fully.
And phase two hinges on Hamas disarming and the IDF withdrawing troops beyond the so-called yellow line. Do you think that's a realistic outcome?
I think it's a necessary outcome to actually end the conflict. If the Hamas military element still remains armed, it's very difficult to see why the IDF would withdraw. From Hamas's perspective, they don't want to fully disarm before the IDF actually withdraws. So that's the problem. That's the sequencing. That's the standoff that's happening right now. Something that, of course, could assist this is this international stabilization force and this Palestinian police force. There has to be some entity that's trusted enough by both sides to validate that things are happening, to validate that Hamas is actually disarming. And the actual practical part of this is where are the arms going to go? So they have to have an entity that they're willing to turn their arms over that could validate that it's happening. And then, of course, the mediators, the Board of Peace, can turn to Prime Minister Netanyahu, say it has happened, they have disarmed, and then the IDF, of course, would need to withdraw under this agreement. So there needs to be this independent third party that's actually on the ground, and that's what this ISF and Palestinian police force is intended to do.
Yeah, we'll see how those conversations play out. All right, Mick, thanks so much.